Let me know when you're on. Namaste. I'm a couple of minutes early. Hi, how you doing? Here you are, you're all coming on. Nice to see you this evening. Hi. Some very impatient people out there tonight, must just say. I'm only joking. Keep coming. Got a couple of minutes yet. Just thought I'd log on early just to say hello. You've got your mats, hopefully you've got a block. Hi. Let me know you're here. Ah, thank you, love back. Namaste. Namaste. Today's session, or tonight's session now, is all about, hi, you alright, keep coming, all joining in. Oh my gosh, there's loads of you tonight. That's awesome, great to have you. Hi. Hi everyone, hi Ben, hi. Namaste. Namaste. So tonight's session, I'll start in about a minute's time, just let everyone else get on. Hi, I can see you all come in. Tonight's session is for stress and depression. And I'm going to include some affirmations tonight. So if you don't want to use the affirmations and they don't resonate with you, that's fine. I'm just going to guide you into maybe introducing a few affirmations that might just help if you are feeling a little bit stressed and a little bit depressed. Stressful times, and the sun's shining and we've got some wonderful weather and we're having some lovely family time, but it still can be a little bit stressful. So with that in mind, I'm giving tonight's yoga class specifically for that. And it's Wednesday. I'd usually be in the village hall doing yoga tonight, but I'm here with you lovely lot, with twinkling lights, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so I'll just give you another few seconds just to get yourself on the mat. So we're just going to start kneeling or cross-legged, if that's your preference. You can cross your legs and sit up, or you can take your legs in front of you. So if you've just joined us, hi, namaste. Just to let you know, it's all about stress and depression. Okay, so this is going to help you if you are feeling a little bit low. I'm going to give you a few little techniques. We're going to do a breathing technique at the moment as well. At the moment, we're going to do a breathing technique in a moment, just to help with any anxiety. Okay, so if you've just joined us, namaste to you all. So we're going to take it into a breathing technique, alternate nostril breathing, that's going to help if you do suffer with anxiety. So you're going to take your hand and you're going to close the three fingers, the middle fingers, so your thumb and your little finger are up. So you're going to place your other hand just gently wherever's comfortable, but this hand you're going to place your thumb onto your right nostril, and you're going to inhale through your left nostril, hold that breath, and as you're holding the breath, take your little finger and close the left nostril, and then exhale through your right nostril, through the nose. Inhale through that right nostril, hold the breath, and then take your thumb and close your right nostril. Exhale through the left nostril, inhale through the left nostril, hold the breath, swap it round, close the left nostril, and then exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your right nostril. Hold the breath, swap it round, and then exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Just a couple more rounds. Exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Swap it round. If you've just joined us, you're confused. We're going to exhale through your left nostril. Inhale through your left nostril. Hold the breath. Swap it round. And then one more. Exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your right nostril. And then take your hands down to your thighs. Roll the shoulders back and down. Close your eyes. Bring your spine up nice and tall. And just let your breath return to normal. Maybe take some deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling either through your mouth or through your nose, whatever your breathing preference is. Inhaling and exhaling. So if you've just joined us, tonight's session is specifically for stress, depression, anxiety. And tonight I'm going to include some affirmations that you're very welcome to take on board. But if they don't resonate with you, that's fine too. So as you inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale down to the chest. Just a couple of these. Inhale, reach the arms round and up. Exhale, hands to the chest. Two more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Repeat the affirmation. All is well in my world. Out loud or in your head. All is well in my world. And then inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, take your hands down under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and we'll do some cat-cows. Inhaling, arching the back down, look up. Exhaling, arch the back up, and let the head drop. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. And just straighten the spine, let the spine become neutral. And wherever you are, keep your hips over your knees and walk your hands forward. See if you can stretch your hands forward, keeping those hips over the knees. And maybe take your hands a little bit wide or as wide as the mat and let the chest drop down. So you'll feel like you're sticking your bum up into the air, and gently let the chest come down towards the mat. It doesn't matter if it doesn't get there. It's a nice stretch for the upper back, a release for the upper back into puppy pose. Gently come down, your forehead comes down to the mat. Breathing into it. And with every breath, your chest relaxes a little bit more into the mat. Use the breath here. and then gently come back up. Walk your hands under your shoulders, sit on your left hip and bring your legs round to the front. Bend the knees, take your hands behind you and gently roll your back down into the mat, forearms into the mat, feet under the knees or your heels towards your bum cheeks, and then slowly roll down, keeping the hands onto the floor, your arms in the floor, and then inhale, bring the arms up over the head, and as you do so, reach the hips up into a nice dynamic bridge, and then exhale, come back down. So we're going to flow through these, inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling. So if you've just joined in tonight, inhaling, we're going to do a whole class and do some poses for stress, depression and anxiety. Inhaling, reach up and exhaling back down. 2 more, inhaling and exhaling. Good job. 1 more, inhaling and exhaling. Taking your arms to the side, let the soles of your feet come together. And if that's enough, stay here. If you want to walk up onto the forearms here and walking the elbows back a little bit so they're comfortable. And maybe you drop your head back behind you, just breathing into it. Use the breath here. Spread the fingers wide, take your breath. Repeat the affirmation, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. And believe it, you are enough. Take your legs out in front of you and then walk your way up. And then bring your heels again to one side and we'll come back to all fours, but we're going to transition to down dog. So walk your hands slightly in front of your shoulders, spread those fingers wide. Some of you can get into down dog already. And then tuck the toes behind you and lift your hips up. Keep those knees bent if you're new to down dog or you're feeling particularly stiff tonight. Lifting the hips up. And if you feel able, you can bend one knee, bend the other knee. It's quite nice just to relax. Get your feet hip width apart or maybe a little bit wider. Your hands maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width. Your ears are in line with your arms, and imagine you've got balloons lifting your hips up, reaching up to the ceiling. Maybe find movement here. Some of you might want to find a bit of stillness here. Whatever you need, maybe your knees are bent, maybe your legs are straight or they're moving. Breathing into it. And then bend your right knee and help it along to the front of the mat. You can help it with your right hand on the ankle and then place your left knee down into the floor. If you need to pad that knee, place a cushion or a towel under it and then reach the arms up. Palms are facing each other. The front knee is in line with the front ankle. You might need to wiggle that front forward and see if you can sink. See how far you can sink it down. Breathing into it, stay here. And then take your hands behind you, clasp your hands behind you and just open the chest. Maybe it's just gentle tonight or maybe you need to go a little bit deeper. You know your body. Maybe your head drops back. It's not necessarily a back bend. Breathe, use the breath. Maybe you're sinking down a little bit more onto that leg. Feeling it in that left groin there maybe. I am enough. repeat it in your head or out loud, or not at all. If it doesn't resonate, that's fine. And just release your hands. Take your left hand on the back of your left thigh, reach the right arm up, turn your head, your left shoulder to the left side, and wherever it takes you, take it there. You can take your left hand down onto the back of the calf if you want to. Breathe into it and keep sinking into the front of that leg. Gently bring your arms either side of the front of that foot. Lift your left knee off the floor and take your right leg back to meet it in plank. Vary your plank if you need to, taking the knees down. It's a little bit of a gentler plank if that's what you need tonight. If not, lift the knees up, take an inhale and exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, take your arms behind you, maybe clasp your hands if that feels okay too, and lift up into a little Shalabhasana, into locust. Lift the legs up if you want to, and just look towards the mat so the back of your neck is long. Take a few breaths here, breathing into it, lifting, twisting the inner thighs inwards and upwards to the ceiling. Slowly release down. If you need a little breather, turn your head and just rest down onto the mat. Take your hands under your shoulders and bring yourself up into a little cobra, elbows tucked into the body. Roll the shoulders back and down, and then come down again, and then come straight to down dog. Otherwise I'll show you an easier option. Come to your knees first, tuck the toes, take your hands in front of you, and then lift up into your down dog. Whichever way you need to get to down dog, feel free. So just stay here, either moving or find stillness. Keep breathing. And then say your affirmation, I am able to see the good in myself. And repeat it as many times as you need to hear it. I am able to see the good in myself. And when you're ready, step your left foot through. Help it along if you need to. Right knee down into the floor. You can untuck the back toe or tuck. Inhale, reach the arms up. Front knee in line with the front ankle. Sink it down. Take your time in these poses. Breathing into it. Oh, you fell over. And then clasp your hands behind you. Pull the fists down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. If you want to take a back bend, do. Just look up. I am able to see the good in myself. Take your right hand onto the right thigh, reach the left arm up, and just find a little twist, whatever you need. You might put your right hand on the calf, but just try and find that sink still, sinking down into the front leg. I am able to see the good in myself. Slowly take the hands down to the floor, lift your right knee up and step your left foot to your right foot, either plank or modified plank, it's up to you. Inhale and lower down, lower, 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 lower. Untuck the toes, take your legs a little bit wider, clasp the hands and then come up into locust pose again. So there's a lot of back bends tonight. It's very good for depression and anxiety and stress. Turn the inner thighs inwards and upwards. Breathing into it. And then slowly release down, hands under your shoulders. Come into a little cobra. If you would like to come into upward dog, bring yourself up higher, lift the weight off your thighs so it's on the top of your feet. Put your knees down, tuck the toes and either come to all fours first or come straight into down dog from here. Breathing into it, using the breath. Find stillness or find movement. Your ears are in line with the arms. Remember those balloons on your hips. Lifting your hips up. I always like to move in down dog, but it's totally up to you. And then bring that right foot through again. Help it along with your right hand on the right ankle. And if you want to place your left knee on the floor, do so. If you would like a little bit harder, lift that left knee off and reach up into a higher lunge. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to prayer. Inhale, and as you exhale, twist to the right side. Use the breath here, sinking it down, bend the back knee, tilt the hips forward, and then straighten the back leg. Breathing into it. Inhale, bring yourself back to the front, reach the arms up. And exhale, take your hands down, step it back to your plank or your modified plank. Exhale, lower down to the floor, let the whole body fall down into the mat. So we're going to take it into Shalabhasana 2, Locust 2. So walk your hands a little bit further down to in line with your waist. Inhale, lift your upper body up with the weight of your hands in the mat, and if you can lift your legs up as well, feel free to turn in the inner thighs inwards and upwards, breathing into it. Use the breath here, the back of your neck is long, try not to strain the head up, just let your head naturally face the mat. And then slowly release down, take your hands back under your shoulders, lift up into a baby cobra or up dog. Exhale to your knees or down dog, and then bring it up. Find your down dog, use the breath here. I allow myself to shine bright. Your next affirmation, feel free to repeat it as many times as you want. I allow myself to shine bright. And so you should. Lift your left knee, bring your left leg into the front, help it along. Your right knee come down into the floor if you want, or lift it up for a little bit more of a challenge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, prayer. Inhale, and as you exhale, take your twist. So watch your back knee, drop the back knee, tilt the pelvis forward, and then straighten the back leg. And then you're in a lunge, a high lunge. Breathe into it. I allow myself to shine bright. Inhale. inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, take it down. Our last locust pose. Step it back to plank or modified plank if you were there. Inhale, exhale, lower down, down, down. So whichever locust you prefer, I quite like to bring your hands to your waist. Inhale, lift up just a little bit, and then see if you can take the legs up. You're spinning your inner thighs inwards and upwards, really important. Use the breath. And then slowly release down, take your hands under your shoulders, bring yourself up to all fours, widen the knees, let the big toes touch, and pull back into child's pose. Sitting towards the heels, stretching the arms out. Let your forehead rest down into the mat, or you can cushion your forehead with your hands on top of each other. If your arms are out, if you want to activate the arms, it's a little move. Just lift the heels of your hands up off the mat. I allow myself to shine bright. All is well in my world. I am enough. While you're here, if you want to walk your hands to the right hand side, take a few breaths there if that feels good too. Take your hands to the other side. Bring yourself back to center. And then come back to all fours. Last down dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips up. And then walk in your feet or help your feet along to the front of the mat. Hip width apart, toes aligned, and then hands onto your hips. And very slowly bring yourself up. Pull the core in. Inhale, reach, swoop the arms up. Exhale, Samati Stihi. Inhale, swoop the arms around as you reach your torso forward and down into full fold. Bend your knees if you need to. Let your arms hang, or you can cup alternate elbows and just gently sway from side to side. Or you can drag the fingers across either way. Planting the feet into the mat, the heels of the feet, the soles of the feet, nice and even. And then swoop the arms up, reaching them up. Take your hands down to prayer. Take your hands to your hips. Okay, so we've never done this one before. So your thumbs around your back and your hands, fingers around your waist or your hips. And just take your feet as wide as your mat. So we're really going to take a liking to this pose. This is called superhero pose. So you're pushing your hands onto your hips, rolling the shoulders back, feet into the floor. Your head, your chin lifts up. Close your eyes and take a few breaths and feel like a superhero. I love it. So your chest is open, you're tall, you're strong, you're courageous. Could use those as affirmations. I am strong, I am courageous. Breathe into it. Keeping your left hand where it is, take your right hand onto the side of your head, the opposite side. Gently take the head ear down to the shoulder. Breathing into it. Maybe you can release the left arm and reaching it out. Take both hands to the hips again, thumbs around your back, roll the shoulders back, stand up tall like a superhero. I feel like we should have a cape flying behind us. And then take the other side, so the right hand comes to the outside of that right forehead. Gently just weight it, you're not pulling. Just release any tension in the neck. Reach the right arm out if that feels good, just stretching it out. Take some deep breaths. Notice how your feet are planted into the floor. And take it back to superhero pose, just like saying it. Roll the shoulders back, stand up tall. It's very important how you hold your body to how you feel. You might notice when you're feeling down or stressed, we often round our back and round our head. So open the chest, be proud of who you are. Take your right hand just down, maybe onto the outside of the thigh, reach the left arm up, turn the palm and take it into a side bend. Keep those feet planted into the floor. Breathe into it. I am strong. I am courageous. I'm awesome. Because you are. And then take it to the other side. Left arm down, right arm up. Just take it into a nice side bend. Bring yourself, both arms back up. Exhale, press. Bring your feet together. Inhale, reach the arms up, swoop your arms around and take yourself down into full fold. Oh, stretch it down. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold all the way to Uttanasana, and then inhale, swoop the arms up. Exhale, pray and step your left foot back behind you to warrior two pose. So your front heel is in line with the back arch of your foot. Bend that front knee again. Your knee needs to be in line with that ankle and the knees in line with the middle toes of that foot. So you're going to take your hips and turn them over to the left. I'm going to come this way so you can see me. Reach your arms up. Turn the palms up or down and have a sink. See how far you can sink down into that front knee. You might need to wiggle that front foot forward though so the knee stays over your ankle. Pushing the weight into the outside of the back foot as well. Breathe in. Good job, don't know what happened there. I think we went offline for a little bit. So we're going to come into humble, turning your torso to the front, clasp the hands behind you, and then take it over your right shoulder to your right thigh, dropping it down into humble warrior. So use the breath here, breathe into it. Make sure you're putting the weight into the outside of the back foot. I'm sorry if it's been going offline. Use the breath. And inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, prayer position. Turn both toes, wide part of your mat. Toes and heels aligned. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, reach it forward. Reach, reach, reach forward. Take your hands down to the mat. Widen your, if you need to widen your feet, but use the breath. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, sinking down. Keep breathing into it. And then inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, prayer position. Turn the left foot out to the front, right foot in, so the front heel is in line with the back arch, front knees over your ankle, and the knees facing towards the middle part of that foot. So when you're ready, turn your hips to the right, drop it down into your warrior two, reach the arms out. I am strong. I am powerful. These are your affirmations too. Breathe into it, believe it. Turn the hips to the front, torso to the front, clasp your hands, and then come to humble warrior. Come down, left shoulder to the left thigh. Planting the back foot as well, don't put all the weight into the front of that leg. Inhale, reaching up. And then turn the hips to the middle, feet to the middle, that wide leg forward, fold again. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then reach forward, reach, 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 reach forward. And take your hands down, maybe widen the feet if you need to. Walk your hands in if you want. If your hands don't reach the floor, that's fine. You can put your hands onto your thighs or cup the elbows. Breathing into it. And then inhale, halfway up. Exhale down. And then inhale, swoop the arms up. And exhale. And then turn your feet and step yourself, have a bit of a wobble, to the front of the mat. So your feet are together. Inhale, swoop the arms up and back. Exhale, press. Inhale, take your arms back, have a little back bend here. And then bring your arms out to the side and fold forward. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold, and step your right knee into the floor. Untuck those back toes and walk your hands back, the front legs straightening as you walk back. Sole of your foot can be on the floor, or you can lift the toes up to the ceiling. And then walk in your hands, just gently sinking it down. Breathe into it, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, walking your hands forward. Tuck the toes of your right foot, lift the right heel off the floor, and then step your left foot back to plank. If you need to modify your plank, placing the knees on the floor. Take an inhale, exhale, lower down to the floor, all the way down to the floor. Taking your hands back behind you, clasp your hands. Inhale up into locust pose. And exhale, take it down. Take your hands at the side of your waist. Inhale up into Shalabhasana 2. Lift the legs up behind you. I think I forgot to lift the legs up last time. And then exhale, take it down. So choose your locust pose if you would like to come into Dhanasana. Bow pose, you can hold on to both feet. Bring the knees in so that they're hip width, not much wider. And then inhale, lift up into bow pose or stay with your locust pose. Whatever you need here. Breathing into it. Use the breath. And then slowly release down. Take your hands on top of each other and just turn the head whichever side. Just take a rest here. All is well in my world. I am safe. I am strong. Take your hands under your shoulders. Gently bring yourself to your knees. And then kneel down. As long as it's okay for your knees. You might need to pad your knees here. And then bring yourself up. Take your thumbs behind your back again. Your hands around you like we did in the superhero pose. Maybe just widen the feet a little bit. And just take a back bend and push your hands in towards your lower back so that you're helping your hip, bringing your hips forward. A nice support. Maybe squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can drop the head back as much as you need to. Breathe into it. Just a little modified camel pose here. You'll have the chance to come into full camel after this. So breathe into it. Bring yourself, sit yourself down, widen the knees, let the big toes touch and come into a child's pose. Breathe into it, use the breath here. I am more than enough. I am more than enough. Come to all fours. Step your right foot in front of you. Left knee's on the floor. Walk in your hands back into that half splits pose. If you want to put the sole of your foot on the floor, do. If you want to lift the toes up. And then walk the fingers forward and sink your chest down towards the thigh. Really tight, it's nice to massage it. Use the breath here. And bring yourself forward, walk it forward. Walk your hands forward, lift the left knee up, step your right foot to your left foot, plank, feet together or knees on the floor if you need to modify it. Take a few breaths here and plank. Keep breathing, and when we lower, see if you can lower the chest and the thighs down so they land on the mat at the same time, nice and slowly. See how slowly, maybe come onto the top of your toes and see if you can slowly come down, maybe a little chaturanga dandasana, and then slowly sink down to the floor. So we're just going to take your last locust pose, 3 choices, hands behind you, hands to the waist, or you can take it into bow pose, whatever you need here. So we're going to take a few breaths here. Wiggle the knees in a little bit if you can, and then inhale, reach it up. If you can think of an affirmation while you're here, maybe I am supported, I am calm, I am worthy. If you're just focusing on breathing in the pose, that's fine. Keep breathing, keep lifting. And then slowly relax down. Hands on top of each other, arms on top of each other, and just rest. Maybe give your lower back a little wiggle. Then take your hands under your shoulders, pull yourself back to that kneeling pose, and we'll transition to camel again. Remember that easier option, lift the hips up, thumbs behind you, hands around the waist. Maybe just take your knees so that they're hip width apart, and then lean back, roll the shoulders back. If that is enough for you, do it that way. If you want to take your hands to your heels, tuck the toes as a little tip, I find that helps. And breathe into it, roll the shoulders back. Try not to panic if you're here in this pose. Your breath tends to become a little bit shallow. So really try and focus on slowing the breath down. Maybe the head drops back, maybe it doesn't. Use the breath. Couple more breaths here. And then slowly release. If you was in full camel, well done. Take the knees wide, big toes touch. Ooh, and then come down into a child's pose. So lots of back bends, I realise. Breathe into it. All is well in my world. And then slowly come to your left hip and bring your legs in front of you. Bend the knees, reach the arms forward, or for an easier option, you can take your hands onto the mat, but see if you can challenge yourself. Unless you've got any back issues, then don't put your hands or just come straight down. And see how slowly you can roll back. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can take your legs out straight. Oh, see how slowly I am strong. Taking it down. Once you're there, hook the knees into your chest, rocking it from side to side. And just to finish off these back bends, we're going to come into a bridge pose. So take your feet onto the floor, and a fish posture. Forgot about that one. So your heels are hip width apart. Bring your heels in towards your bum cheeks. Make sure they're parallel. Hands into the floor and lift the hips up. Maybe walk the heels in a little bit, keeping your feet parallel, and maybe you can wiggle up onto your shoulders, and maybe you can clasp your hands under your bum. Wherever you are, breathe into it, and just take the chin away from your chest a little bit, just to keep the back of the neck long. And keep lifting, and while you're here, notice if you're clenching your bum cheeks, release. And see if you can lift a little bit higher. am strong, I am calm, I am enough. Slowly release, slowly take the lower back onto the floor, keep the knees bent, take your hands onto your lower belly and just rock from side to side. Cross your left leg over your right leg. If this is too much of a twist, just bring your knees together. And then take both knees over to the right hand side. Maybe your left arm reaches out to the opposite side into the floor. And maybe your right hand comes on top of the thighs just to help weigh it down a little bit. Breathe into it. And a really great affirmation is I have phenomenal coping mechanisms. Or I have phenomenal coping capabilities. Bring yourself back to the center. You need to just sway your knees from side to side. Then cross your right leg over your left leg, or just bring your knees together. Take the knees over to that side, to the left side, right side, whatever it looks for you. Right arm reaches out, the right shoulder is into the floor. Maybe you can turn your head to look to that side. I have phenomenal coping mechanisms. I have phenomenal coping capabilities. Bring yourself back to the center. One more pose. We're going to take you into the lying fish posture. So we'll layer on the postures. Coming off the mat, so your legs just fall hip width. Take your forearms into the floor, soles of your feet into the mat, and see if you can gently lift the back up, so your arch in the back. Maybe just lift your body up a little bit and shift the arms back, and then see if you can place the top of your head onto the mat. You can see me here. So your arch in the back, it's almost like you've got a cushion or something in your back, so it's lifting your back up, creating an arch. But you can push into the forearms here. This is going to help breathing into it. So if this is enough, stay here. I'm going to show you how you can layer on the postures. You can take your hands into prayer if you want to, in front of your chest. If you can really do it, or if your body wants to, you can take your arms out, flying them out and flying the feet up into a flying fish posture. Please be careful though, do whatever your body wants to do. And then slowly take it down. Slowly slide the back into the mat. Bend one knee, bend the other knee, maybe hug one knee, maybe hug the other knee, and gently rock from side to side. And maybe hug your knees in a little bit deeper. You can always wrap your arms, lift your head and shoulders up and wrap your arms around you, and then place your head down. Breathing into it. And then when you're ready, relax into our final pose, Shavasana. Taking your legs wide as the mat, don't skip this pose. This is the most important pose of all and the hardest pose of all. It can be very hard for some people to lay still. We're not going to be here long. And I'll read you a nice quote as well, just while you're here. So just relax here, let your legs just fall out to the side. Wiggle the toes and then let the toes relax. Wiggle the shoulders, let your shoulders relax into the mat. Your arms, palms faced up. Use the breath. If you would like to place your hands into a mudra, which is very good for relieving stress out of the body, place your thumb and your index finger together. It's called Gyan Mudra. If that feels good to do. If not, that's fine. And relax. Feel all the poses that you've achieved tonight. Feel them all rest into the body. All the affirmations that you may have said to yourself. Feel them all sink deep into yourselves, into your consciousness, into your body. And just stay here, letting the breath breathe its natural rhythm. And I will read you a quote that really resonated with me. Keep breathing, using the breath. It's a quote from Rhonda Byrne. I woke up this morning and I felt very grateful to be alive. I watched the sunrise just like it normally does. There's no problem for the sun. I heard the birds singing as they normally do. Nothing is out of place for the birds. I saw the trees and flowers budding for spring as they usually do. Everything is perfectly in place for the trees and the flowers. And then I wondered whether nature is trying to tell us something. Do not worry, all is well, everything will be fine, everything is fine. Just shine, just sing, just be happy. And when you're ready, gently bend the knees, let the feet rest into the mat. And just sway your knees side to side. Take your knees over to the right hand side, let the body follow. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back up into your final seated position. Spine nice and tall, hands into prayer position. Feel free to follow me through just for a couple of seconds. Take your hands to your forehead. May you have loving and compassionate thoughts. Take your hands to your heart center. May you have loving and compassionate intentions. Take your hands to your mouth. May you have loving and compassionate words. And then bring your hands up and gently bow down. The soul in me honors the soul in all of you. Love, light and blessings to you all. Thank you. I'm sorry if there was any technical later. Namaste.